wondering how I got into this mix.
In our lead story, we're going to be talking about some Indigenous news. You can expect some of that. I like to keep my hands and my ear in the Indigenous world, the Indigenous resistance. In case you were not aware, Indigenous suffering, genocide, and resistance to the modern world did not stop with America and the Native Americans. It continues to this day, not only in America, but in Australia, South America. So tonight we go to Quito, Ecuador, where a coalition of indigenous activists and organizations have just finished a 10-day march earlier this week, marching to the capital of Ecuador to launch a people's assembly where they're trying to come up with answers for facing off with giant corporations that are coming into Ecuador to privatize water. So they gathered in Quito, the capital of Ecuador, to form a people's assembly to try to strategize and have a central strategy on how they're going to deal with this. They're accusing the president of Ecuador, Rafael Correa, of working with the corporations and basically working against the people and limiting the rights of the indigenous groups. And they say that this new water law that was recently passed by Congress in Ecuador is going to eliminate their rights towards water and will favor the corporations. Now, the reason I wanted to talk about this story, besides just being another powerful story of indigenous resistance, is coming from a more traditional, I guess you could say, libertarian market anarchist. One of the issues that I find troubling is the idea of water privatization. And some of you may have heard about Nestle and how the CEO of Nestle is saying that water is not a right, and they're buying up large bodies of water around the world and trying to charge people crazy amounts for water, right? We already pay for water through water bottles, and you pay water bills, and some people say, well, water is a human right. It's inside of our bodies. We're made up of water. There's water 70% of the world. Water is obviously a valuable resource. When I start to break down these ideas and really look at it from just this lens of understanding how privatization and most instances can be a valuable thing and competition can be a valuable thing, I really don't know if I feel that way when it comes to water and how that's going to look in 10 to 15, 20 years, even if we have 5 to 10 corporations who have bought up all the world's bodies of water and they own it, and then they just parcel it out to the people at ridiculous prices. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think water privatization is a good thing? What are the solutions for corporations who are going after water? And is water a human right? Share those comments below. In April 1993, Robert England and Armando Lazo were shot dead in the border town of El Paso, Texas. At that time, Daniel Villegas was a 16-year-old teenager also living in El Paso. Daniel reportedly claimed to have killed the men and was arrested shortly after. While in police custody, Daniel